Actually, I have seen your document Excel. Everything is fine in that.
Okay.
And for the first time you did right, but
Yeah.
still you got perfect cases.
Thank you.
Okay, so in that if you execute them, then you will get to know what an actual result is, right?
Yeah.
Then you can say which is defect and which is a not defect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you will do for tomorrow is execute them and write what are the defects, okay, in the next column itself. Just
Okay.
doing execution and just writing pass or fail. If you want to give ID, give defect ID there itself.
Okay.
Do that for tomorrow and we will see. So that is nothing but executing test cases. So we will see regarding defect, bug life cycle and how we can manage the defect. We will see regarding defects. We will see today. So defect means, as per we know, if we have the expected and actual results different, then we will call them as defect. So defect means the case where expected condition is not equal to, sorry, expected result is not equal to actual result. So okay, this is a defect and you will report that to the developer and he will fix that. So what's next? Once he find if there are duplicate, what he will do? So that you will all know in defect life cycle. And this is also most frequently asked question in interviews. Explain about defect life cycle. So you have to know from the starting of finding defect by the tester uh, till the end where the developer will fix that. So until closing defect, you have to know complete defect life cycle. So in that there are stages. First stage is the so every stage of this defect life cycle is the status of it. So first stage is we will call new. So when the tester finds defect, its status is new. So once you find any failed test case, then you will update it as defect, and in the next column you have to update its status. And in the test case document we don't need to update the status, but when you create a separate sheet for a defects, no defects report, so in that you have to make defect ID, so where it is failed, then a column for its status, which status it is, new, and the next stages I'll explain. So for the first time tester finds it, its status is new. He has to update it in defect report. Every status of it which should be listed in defect report. Okay. Okay. The status is new. So with that status, what he has to do? Next tester has to report it to the developer. that is the next phase which tester has to do, right? So the second status is open. So when tester reporting to developer about the defect, its status is open. Okay, you understood?
Yes.
Okay. So for the first time, you have to report as new when you are sending open, because these all will be listed in defect report itself. Next, okay, you send to the developer. There we have three cases. If a developer finds that it is already previously fixed one, that means it is a duplicate. So what he'll do, he'll simply reset it as by saying that it is a duplicate one which is already fixed previously. By stating that, he will reset it. So when the defect when the defect goes to the developer, there are three conditions. One is duplicate. When developer finds it is already fixed one, then he will reset it by saying duplicate. And the second one, uh, if he feels that that defect is related to next release requirements. Let's say presently the version 1.0 going on, and if any new requirement comes in the version 2.0, the developer will be knowing it previous itself. Developer will know if there is any previous versions, he will know before itself. Tester may not know. So if developer feels that it will come in the next release, it is related to the next requirement release, then he will reject it by saying deferred. He will state that it is a deferred, so he'll reject it. He won't fix that. So that defect is completely put aside. So deferred. Deferred status means when developer finds it is related to next release requirements, then he will he will reject the defect and states deferred. Okay, he has rejected in first two conditions, right? So the next condition is he should accept it. If he accepts it, what he'll do? He has to fix it, right? So the next status in this when the defect is with the developer, the third possibility is fixed. So when developer feels that it is a valid defect, and if there is his mistake, then he will fix that defect and update the status in defect report document as fixed. So the status which is open previously, that he will change to fixed. Got it? No confusion, right? Is there any confusion? Please stop me. Okay, fine. Developer has fixed. So what he will do? He will again resend it to the tester. Once he fixed that, developer will resend the document defect report to the developer. all fixed ones or deferred ones or duplicate ones, everything in the defect report. So once the fixed defect comes to the tester, what he has to do? He has to check again. Yeah, he has to retest it. Tester has to retest it and verify that developer fixed properly or not. The outcome is coming properly or not. So when he retested the fixed ones, then if he feels that it is fixed, then he will close that. So the new status is closed. If he feels that it is not fixed, again problem is there still. So what he will do? He will simply change the fixed status to reopen, and he will send again back to the developer. Clear, right? So reopen means when tester retests the defect, fixed bug, then if he feels still not resolved the problem, then he will update status as reopen, then sends back to the developer, or else closed. When the closed one comes, so when tester retests the fixed bug, if he feels that it is resolved, then he has to change the status as closed. If he feels that it is resolved, the problem is resolve the problem, then he will update the status as closed. That's it. So this is the defect life cycle. So if he close it, the defect will be ended there itself. If he didn't close and if he reopens it, what happens with the defect? It will go again to the developer. So what sorry. So what the developer has to do? Again he has to check whether it is duplicate or deferred. If not, he has to again fix it. Again it will come to this tester. Again he has to retest it. So either he has to update the status as reopen or closed. So this cycle will be repeated until the defect will be ended and until the defect will be closed. Here closed means that is resolved and it is ended. Open means it is on the process and it is going on. And while there is another status also in the process. In the process, when we do is, if there any new requirement comes, then tester has to concentrate on those new requirements. So at that time, some companies will follow the in the process status also. So while the new requirements test case is designed, this present defect can be updated the status as in the process. Okay. So this is about defect life cycle. Very important and frequently asked question, and you have to know as a tester because this is daily basis activity it is. And what's next? So what is defect development lexicon? Okay, defect classification. Okay. Now the important concept we have to discuss is classification of defects. So how can we classify defect? We can classify based on two criteria. One is priority, one is severity. Can you identify the difference between them?
Priority is what has to be done first, and severity like how it will be impacting the result.
Yes, exactly. So based on that, tester has to classify the defects which needs to be fixed first. And one more thing, uh, testers always think in terms of severity because their main goal is to resolve all the defects in the build, right? But developers always think in terms of priority. So their goal is to complete the project as soon as possible. So testers always thinks in terms of impact, in terms of severity. Developers always thinks in terms of priority. This is also you have to know. And there are four conditions. I mean, four ways of classification. One is high prior, high severe. So one is high severe, high priority and severity. So that means there is urgent need to fix the defect soon and also it is impacting more. So can you give any example for that time? Needs to be resolved soon and it needs to be, it is impacting more. So like that, any example practically?
Like the username field and the password field, they should be uh, always the username and the password should match if we are going to go
Okay.
into any like banking things. So that is the priority and the severity. If it is not matching and still it is going to the navigating to the account of the person, then yeah, that is a high
Yes.
priority and severity.
Oh, yeah, that is one example. Fine. And there is a username and password field, but there is no submit button. That is also high prior and high severity. So you can get a lot of examples like this. Next is high priority and low severity. For this, it is not impacting much, but it needs to be fixed soon.
Yeah, like the date of birth of the person is opening an account, creating an account in Gmail with that account.
Mm.
Because the person should be like 18 years. That is happening with the date of birth, but at the same time, it is not impacting much. So we need it, but it is not impacting much on creating the account. Do you think that will benefit?
Okay, okay. So you're saying that is it high priority because
It is not high priority.
even
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
even 5 years persons also today creating that. So that is not high prior. I'll tell you. Not impacting much and it has to be fixed soon means let's take your company logo is itself wrong on the application first page. The
Hmm.
company name uh, image, company image logo is mistakenly uh, similar to some other company's name, or else
Hmm.
when the company homepage is displayed, it is displaying allowing the username and password to enter and clicking on submit button and working everything fine, but uh, there is a mismatch in the uh, company name and logo. It is similar to some other companies, some other resembling some other company's logo, which is very high priority. But it is not impacting much the functionality. So low severity. Okay, that kind we can say a lot. If you are paying anything, if you are booking any product in any e-commerce site, it is going till the end. It is going till the payment page. But finally, uh, at the payment page, the amount what you enter, it is not showing. Of course, it is storing correctly and paying correctly, but it is not showing correctly. So that you will confuse whether it is paid or not, which is high prior, but not impacting much. Next is low priority and high severity. For this low priority, there is no urgent to fix that, but it is impacting much. Of course, this is a very rare condition we are getting. Like severe, it is very severe. If you have any optional fields, let's say, if you take any Gmail, if you take that Gmail sign up page, there is an optional field called enter your something email at the last. At the last, there is an optional field for you. So if you have any optional fields, if you enter them incorrectly against the rules of that field, then it will give you error message, which is high severe. But if you don't enter that also, it will work fine, right? Which is a low priority. Those are optional, so low priority for them. If you don't enter them also, it will work fine. But if you enter them, it will come under high severity. So optional fields you can take under this category. So this is a very rare cases it is. Next is low priority and low severity. For this, these are the cases which we, these are the defects which we test at the last. If we have time only, we will see them. For example, there is a spelling mistake in the field labels. Username, it has to display. The label name is username. If it is displaying only NM, only 2 letters it is displaying, which is a low priority and low severity defect, not impacting much, and there is no urgent to fix also. Because it is not a company name to fix it soon, right? Company name, which is important to fix soon, but only label name we know as the user. And let's say submit button is there, but there is no name submit. So that is also low priority and low severity. So any name mistake, any spelling mistake comes under this category. So I will tell you, any spelling mistakes, optional. So these are the main classification of defects based on priority and severity. Okay. And this also, I think these two we already listed in test case. So in defect report also, you should add these two columns. Okay. I'll show you how the defect report is. Defect report template. So what is a test closure? We have already discussed, right? At the end of all defects fixed and completed, if you make sure that your testing completed and all defects fixed and ended with the defects, then you have to go to test closure, in which you have to mention everything from the start, what you did, how many test cases you found, designed, and how many you have executed. In that, how many not valid cases also you can mention. And in the executed one, how many pass, how many fail, how many rejected, everything you have to mention regarding defects and cases. Criteria for test closure, that's what I told you, no? So test closure criteria means when you have to make this test closure document. It is a Word document, nothing new design in that. It's just a simply written Word document in the system. Criteria means when you have to do the document at the end of the testing when all defects completed. And I just told you, we just discussed about defect report, right? So when we we have to submit this defect report. It is better to submit defect report daily basis. because until all defects completed, the defect report will roam around between this developer and tester. Once tester find it, he will send to the developer. If he fix it, he will send to the tester. So it will roam around between these two persons only until all defects completed. So every day, how many you have found, how many you have sent to the developer, you have to make a note and you have to update it to the TL or manager. Daily basis reports are very efficient.
Okay.
And test summary reports. Test summary reports means defects completed, testing completed, everything is completed, and finally the TL or manager, he will prepare from your test closure. The TL or manager will prepare test summary reports because he should report that to project manager to make sure that testing completed, we can release the build, because testers are the last resorts when before a project is going to the client. So once testing completed and confirmation comes from the tester by this test closure, then test summary reports has to be done by TL or manager, and that should be reported to the project manager to make sure that build has to go to client. Okay. Before going to this agile testing and database testing, I'll show you how the defect report is. And one more thing, it is better to merge these every column
Everything.
to know you to understand well these two also.
I
So
thought I.
so now, yeah, I'll write on the top. Uh, okay, so once you execute that, you will get actual result. So here, how you have to write the sentence is the application is navigating to the next page and what it should do? It is opening text box of OTP. That's it. Exactly, it should match our actual result, but it should be in a present, and this should be always in past. It's like a should be. It's in a must case. It's okay. So like this, you can write all the actual results. As it is a Gmail, you can expect how it is working, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So once you update all these columns, then you can update password fail. Then you can give it defect if it is a fail only. And then finally you can update this column to which requirement it refers to. At this time it is only Gmail, so nothing to update that. So once you executed all and found defects, then you have to make defect report. So in this defect ID, already we have given defect ID here, right? So that defect ID we have to update here, first defect, and to which test case the defect, because defect ID, test case ID not same. Let's say you are getting defect here, then it is which test case it is? Third test case, right? If you are getting defect, first defect here, ID is, so corresponding defect test case ID you have to mention here, okay? And rest is scenario ID and defect description. And next is expected result. You can just copy and paste from the test case.
Yeah.
You have to exactly, it should match. And the actual result, what you got, expected result, actual result. And next is, so as it is failed, so what is its priority? Priority. So is it high priority defect or low priority defects? How it is severity? And next, raised on which date? Raised on date. Next, raised by whom? The tester name here. And allotted to. Here, whose name here should be?
Developer.
Whose name in this call? Yes, exactly. So here developer name should be assigned. Because why this is raised on means how much time the defect taken to fix. To analyze that and to improve for the next releases, these three are mandate. Raised on date is mandate. And fixed, closed on. This column should be updated at the end. Once it is fixed, completed everything. Then, before it, its status. Insert. Status. Open or new or what, anything. So that status should be here. And fields used. Actually, this is an optional column, but it is good to write. And remarks, if anything. If anything, you have to include for that defect, explaining its how it is found. Anything if you didn't cover in this description, then you can mention in this remarks. So this is a defect report template. This is a defect report template. Uh, please, if you after you completed these columns, these three columns, please update these also.
Sure.
Okay. I'll resend you to this document.
Sure.
Please update this also. So that you will get to know how to make defect report.
Sure.
These are the normally
it's actually
used.
helping. Yeah.
Yes. Because this is a practical work you have to do originally. And of course, these are the normally using columns. But if any company is product based, then he will
Mhm.
also mention, they will also mention that to release number, or else
Mhm.
version number you can say,
Mhm.
release or version, whatever. That also you can mention.
Yeah.
As of now, we don't need anything, but this is optional column. So this is about defect report, how it is look like. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We will see how an agile testing is. Do you know SQL?
No.
SQL basics you don't know?
No.
Okay. I'll cover basic SQL queries.
Okay.
So it's your duty to practice more queries
Mhm.
to get addicted to database testing. After this, we will cover that. Because database, as a tester, at least minimum basic knowledge of SQL should be there for any tester. Because uh, as this is a practice, as you are learning, you're testing with only one data. But once you go with a practical project, you will get a bunch of data. You will get a sheets of data. So from that, you have to retrieve any data. All the time you can't search, right?
Mhm.
So you have to know from a table how to access any data. You have to know basically. Basic queries you have to know. So I'll cover basic queries. Today
Mhm.
Agile and database will complete. So please
Yeah, I'll go over it.
practice more queries. You will get. We'll see what an agile testing is. So we'll already discussed, right? What is the difference between agile model and waterfall model? Did you remember?
Yeah. Agile uses smaller iterations, and both the tester and the developer work
Work
parallelly.
panel. And in waterfall,
In waterfall, one step is finished first, so the development is finished and then the testing starts. So it's one step at
yes.
a time.
Okay. So as we discussed, so agile testing is iterative development. So there are a lot of iterations in this iterative development method, and in this, where the requirements will change every iteration, so they will evolve through collaboration means client will collaborate every week and he will change the requirements as he wants how the application is. So this is a basic thing about agile testing. So what are the advantages? Do you remember? So as a developing and testing parallelly will work. So what are the advantages regarding this agile testing? Because as they will work parallelly, it's a saving of time and money, right?
Mhm.
Because in waterfall model, one stage completes, people that of that stage are idle, and the testing people will work. Once testing completes, again when new project comes and developer people work, testing people will be idle, which is a lot of time for that people, and which is a cost waste for the company. So agile testing will saves time and money, and we can have less documentation all the time. We don't need to have that, and every week or else on 3 to 4 days basis, client will involve in the meetings and he will update the requirements. So there is a regular feedback. There is a regular feedback from the user. This is one advantage for us. So at the end stage we can get 90% efficient project, and and daily meetings. There will be daily meetings in agile testing which will help to determine issues in advance. So these are the advantages. As per generally, if you think about agile, these are the advantages. So there are principles in agile testing. To have this advantage, it should be in a formal way, right? Anyway, waterfall may be step by step. Waterfall is step by step. There is nothing principle needed as it is going in a formal way. But agile, parallelly people should work means there should be a there should be some principles followed between to have communication between these people. So those principles you have to know. Principles of agile testing. And nowadays agile testing is more important. Every company is addicting to that. So you have to know about this. First principle is testing is not a phase. So what does this mean? How the agile testing team people will think is we have to test continuously. As a requirement changes, once we test also, we should test that tomorrow again because new requirement comes. So we have to design again and we have to test again. That is nothing but testing is not a single phase. Testing is not a single phase or single iteration. It will come in a again and again we have to do until the requirement change stops. So meaning is that. And the next is testing moves project forward. So what does this mean is when you follow conventional method like waterfall and V model, then testing is just a quality gate. It will just confirm whether all requirements covered in cases and if it's fixed or not. That was it will be fine. But in agile testing, you will have regular feedback from the user, right? So project, we can guarantee that project will meet the business standards. 99% it will meet because we are not only doing in a single iteration, right? We are designing and testing every time, day by day we are doing again and again. So practice makes man perfect like that. It will be like very perfect build we the final what we get. So testing moves project forward and also business also forward as we get the regular feedbacks apart from the normal models. And next principle is everyone tests. Everyone will like a tester in this agile testing. So in conventional software development life cycle, like if you take any V testing model or that time, only testing team will do the uh, test purpose and developers will do their own work. But in agile model, even testers will do the test, developers and BA also check whether testers covered everything or not. They will review the documents. But in normal models, only testers or TLs will review that. But in this, let's say today we have executed 10 cases and updated the defects and everything and sent to the developers. Developers should not see only the defects. He should check every case. He should review that. Once he confirm that that part related requirements covered, then he should go to the defects and he should do his duty. So that is the difference between the normal model and agile model. In the normal model, only at the end of the project build only we will get the feedback from the customer. But here we will get regular feedback on daily basis or weekly basis. So which will shorten the feedback response time. We don't need to wait for whether the project is okay or not. A long time we no need to wait. We can wait till 1 week. Single part also we will get the feedback from the user. And we can have a clean code, which is nothing but on that iteration itself it will be fixed, right? For the next iteration, new requirement comes. These old defects is not even needed to check, because anyway we will come from the starting. So these defects also covered and the new defects also covered. So it will be a clean code with 100% accuracy. We may get the code. Okay, so these are the principles for agile testing. And in agile testing, if we follow the automation, it is very useful. Because if you do manually, it is a complex work, complex project it will become. Even simple project also become complex. Because it's not a waterfall model, right? One step by step, it is not a step by step. We have to do it iteration. So whatever you designed those 18 plus 7, total 25 cases you have designed. So once a new requirement comes, you have to edit a lot. If that requirement is a major one, then you have to edit your total document, which is again a manual extra work for you. So if it is automation, if you just edit single one, everything will be working fine. So agile testing mostly used in automation one. And one more thing I want to correct in your document is it? Here you have given numbers up to 7, 8, and then you have given again from 1.
Yeah.
No, you should not. You should continue the number.
Okay. I was
Even
having the same
different
doubt. Yeah.
scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though different scenarios, but test cases number should be continued, because finally you have to know how many you got.
Yeah.
You have to report that.
Okay.
So that please edit that.
Sure.
I'll send you this document. And one more thing also you have to update in the separate sheet. How many once you completed the defect report and those test case columns, again in the fourth sheet, how many you got the cases, how many passed, how many failed. That also you have to update in the last sheet. Okay, please don't forget that. Okay, so is there anything remaining regarding Agile? So this is the basic things about Agile testing, and as we have discussed, there are iterations. So every iteration has some time, right? So that is we will call as a sprint, iteration time, simple iteration time. So generally it is 2 to 3 months, or else 1 to 2 months. It is generally. It will not cross 3 months. Maximum 3 months it will be having. This is about sprint. Okay. As a basically this is enough. In automation we will know more about this agile testing. And the next is a database. And one more thing I suggest you, 1 second. Download either QC or Jira or Bugzilla, any one, and please see. If you see the tool, you will understand. I think I suggest you to see the Jira, because it is low MB one and you can check easily. It will be available in a cloud also. So if you see, you will understand clearly. And then because every tab is visible to you completely, because you know what is the requirement, you know what is a test case, you know what is a defect. So just updating the requirements, copy and pasting your all test cases from the Excel to there, and updating your defects. That is about this test management or defect management tools. So here QC is both for management and defect management. Everything will be there in QC. We will call in short quality center QC. But in Jira, nowadays it became both. But Bugzilla is only for defect management. Only you can update defects only, not cases. But in Ubuntu, you can update cases and defects also. So I just suggest you to download any one or two, and if you see, you will understand clearly. Bugzilla also very low MB one. These are all open source softwares only. So you can download and you can see. You will get clear information.
Sure.
Okay. If you don't understand, let me know. I'll show you what each field is. Okay. Because you can understand easily. Because no need to explain anything in that. Database test. So SQL you need to, okay, SQL. So do you know what is full form of SQL?
No.
Structured Query Language. So why it is, basically it is for retrieving any data from a table format information. Let's say there is a list of employees in a company. Their IDs, their names, their salary, and their date of joining, and how many experience they have. These 5 columns with a number of rows. Then you want a particular employee ID with the salary something, and he has a appraisal cycle. So you want his data, from how many years he is working. So to retrieve a single field from any table, we have to use this language. So in this language, how we will retrieve, that is the important thing. There are a lot of queries for that. So we will retrieve, depends on that. So we will see queries, some 10 to 15 queries we will discuss. Then if you practice them, then you will, and I suggest you the website W3 Schools is the best one to learn this SQL. Okay. Website is very good, it is. It's very good. Very clearly explained every query. So it's better for you to practice. And there are some online tools also there, practicing your code, your queries. So if any know, you can try that also. Okay, and in SQL itself, there are a lot of types of SQLs. MySQL, which will work in Windows. MySQL, it is for completely Windows. Any version, it will work. SQL Server, this is also for Windows. SQL Server, Windows. And MS Access is also for Windows. Oracle, this is one type of SQL. And Sybase, this is also one type of SQL. And there are a lot of like this. But all have similar queries, similar thing. Only some words may change in, but as a tester, what we will use in a testing is basic SQL. Okay, you can say that as a basic MySQL, which will works in Windows, Unix, everything. Okay. There is a PL-SQL is also there, but we won't use much that. Only basic SQL queries we will use. So we will see. Let's say you have a table with 5 rows, as just we discussed, a lot of columns. You want to retrieve all data. So what is the query for that? Retrieve all data. Okay, before going into queries, we will see keywords to get data in this SQL. One is select. Select is useful for selecting what you want. Selecting a field, what you want. Okay, anyways, after the select word, you should mention condition. But this word is mainly for to select what you want. Select a field or rows or columns, whatever. And next is insert. Inserting means if you want to update your table with a new data, new employee joined in a company, you want to update your company database with his data, then you have to use insert word. Next, update. Insert means just inserting the new data. Update means already existed data you want to edit. Then you have to use update command. So you can call these keywords or commands also. Update, insert, and there is a one more keyword, distinct. If any employee name is double times, any employee name similar, then how you can identify them? They have a different IDs, right? So using those IDs, you can identify them. So at that time, if you have a duplicates, to remove the duplicates, you can use distinct. And there is a one more keyword, unique, also there. So if you want to get any unique data which is present in the table, you can do that. And there are joins. If you want to join tables, multiple tables, 2 or 3 tables you want to join, then you can use the joins. Okay. If anything will remain, I will update it. Okay, first query is, first you want to retrieve all data. So how I will retrieve? The query is select start from table name. Let's say table name is employee. Here you should list out the table name. Okay, so this is the query. This is a query for, so once you give start from and table name, you will get every field, every row, every column, total data of the table you will get. Okay. Next, the basic query next is okay. You want to so I just got remind one some more commands. These are like delete also we have alter commands we have. Delete means it will delete complete table, or else if you mention the conditions it will delete only the rows and columns. Alter means it will just jumbling rows and columns, changing any table name. So that is used for alter. Here you should give alter database like this. And okay, fine. Okay, you want to create a table. So creating table, how you can create? So command is create table. Here you have to give table name employee. Okay, I just fixed the table name for employee. That's right. This is a command for creating table name. Next is okay, in the table name, you want to select only the first 2 columns, or else first 3 columns, which are employee ID, employee name, and his date of joining. So how you will select that? Selecting selecting first 3 columns or rows, whatever, 3 columns of table. If there is columns, then you just need to edit a column name with the row. That's it. So the command is here. The command is select column 1, column 2, column 3 from table name is what? Employee. This is the structure. As we didn't we didn't make any table, so that's why I just mentioned column 1, column 2. Let's say you have here not like column 1, you have to give the column 1 name.
Yeah.
Yeah, the heading name, the column heading name you have to give. Okay, let's say columns equals to employee ID, employee name, date of joining. So what here you have to give? Employee ID. This should exactly match. It should not be a lower or upper. It should exactly match the name of the column heading. Date of joining from employee. So then you will get those 3 columns from that employee. Those 3 columns, every row you will get. You understood, right? The first 3 queries?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting it.
Okay. Let's say if you have a duplicate values and you only want to list the distinct values, then we just discussed that distinct command you
Distinct.
have to use for removing the duplicates. So let's say 3-4 persons have the same name, then how you have to retrieve employees with the distinct names like this. Get removing duplicates. How we can remove duplicate? Select we need select distinct distinct employee name from customers. This is how you can remove the duplicate. So once you prefix this distinct word before the column of employee name, so what it will do, it will automatically remove all the duplicates from the employee name. Because you only want a single employee name should be there and it should not be repeated. Otherwise, you can also give employee ID. Then only the not repeated employee IDs only you will get. Unique employee IDs you will get. This is how they will remove the duplicates. So counting. Let's say you got some result. You want to know how many are there. You just got the information, right? Some number of employee IDs list you got. So counting the number of rows, how many rows or how many fields you have. So counting number of elements in list you got. The command is select distinct. I'm sorry. Select count distinct employee ID from. I'm sorry, it's just employee, right? From employee. So now what it will do? It will just give you the number. It will give you the integer, how many number of rows you have. So if it is not a distinct, then you can remove this and select a count from employee. Select count and beside that column name and employee. So in that column, how many rows you will get. And next is insert update. We need to see. Okay, you're directly getting the columns, right? So now if you want to give any condition, you want employee names whose date of joining is in this year. That is the condition. So there you have to use where class. So select employee ID from employee where date of joining dot year equals to 2007. Okay, understood? So you want employee IDs of employees from this table whose date of joining is from the January 1st of this year. So you will get everybody. Why I put this dot year means in date of joining we have 3 fields. So if you have more fields in a single field, more parts in a single field, you can give like this. Okay. Next is in this way, when you use a where class, you can give lot of operators, either equals, because this is a condition, right? So you have to use a lot of operators, equals, greater than, less than or equal, greater than, equal, like, in. So you can use a lot of operators when you use where class. Okay. And we can also use, when you using SQL, we can also use and or not operators also. When you use and operator, if you have more conditions, more than one condition, then you have to use and operators. I'll give you an example. If you need employee ID list with employee name equals to Sam and date of joining equals to, should be date of joining of year, in year 2007. Both conditions should be satisfied. I need those, I need this employee. So how you have to give the query? Select employee ID. It's not list, it's a single field it will give. Select employee ID from employee. If you want name also, because you are giving name as a condition, that's why I'm not giving name here. Where first condition, what it is, employee name should be Sam. Control C, Control V, and this should be in double quotes always when you use condition with equal operators, and should not have spaces. And now here you need to satisfy any one condition or both conditions?
Both conditions.
Both. So both means you have to use and operator. And what is the next condition? Date of joining dot year, it should be 2007. Right? Because if you have any previous 2016 employees name as Sam, they won't come in this. So you may get a list if multiple persons, or else you may get only one person. We can't say. If you want only one person, then you have to use distinct keyword again. Let's say I want only the employee name with Sam, all the list. Then see, let's say I want employee name or date of joining equals to 2007. Any one condition satisfied, it is fine for me. Then how should I give?
Instead
Just
of that,
simple.
it will be
Everything
all.
is same here. That's it. Only thing is you have to know whether both conditions satisfied or only one condition satisfied also enough. That you have to analyze. This is about and or not. If you want a list which will not satisfy the condition, then you have to use not operator. Yeah. Let's say if you don't want, you want the all employees list, but you don't want the 2015 employees list. Okay, so then how you have to give? Not having 2015 employees. So how should be your query? Select employee ID, comma, employee name. I'm just getting two columns from table employee. What I need, I should have all employees, but except 2015 employees. So name not date of joining dot year equals to 2015. Is it fine? Just need to analyze the query and understand, then you can write on your own. Because these are the basic queries. We will get in daily usage with them. Insert and update we will see. Of course, if you go in depth, there are a lot of queries. But I'm just telling you basics, okay? If you go and buy, then you will get a lot. There is a one more class, order by. You want to sort out all employees and you want to get their list depending on their date of joining, which is an ascending order from the small to the present date, from the last to the present date, which is in ascending order. You want them in the list. So how you will do? So select employee ID from employee order by date of joining ascending. ASC means ascending order. Order by ascending order. ASC is keyword. Okay, you understood? So here you will get, based on this date of joining, from the last to the present date, you will get all employee IDs only. That column only you will get. If you want date of joining column also, you have to include here. That's it. Descending order means from the now date to old date, then you have to give here DESC, which is the descending order. Okay. That's it. So let's say you want to insert anything, inserting new data. So what is the command? Insert into table name employee. What you want to insert? New employee, right? Insert into employee where employee ID equals to something, some whatever you want, and employee name equals to something, and date of joining equals to, double quotes are mandate, should not forget them, something. That's it. If you want to update anything, updating. How you will update it, the data? First you want to update means you have to know old data, and what you want to update also you have to know. Both you have to mention in query itself. So update, which field you want to update? That is important. Let's say I want to update employee ID with the employee name Sam. I want to update that. So his ID I want to update. And there is a multiple people with the name Sam. So I know his date of joining also. So with these two details, I want to update his employee ID. So update employee ID from employee, where the keywords should be always in capital. Actually, this update select also should be in capital. Okay. Where employee name equals to Sam. Here I need to satisfy both conditions, right? Because there may be multiple names with the Sam. So and employee and date of joining equals to some this 2016. With what data you want to update? His employee ID you want to update, right? So that ID you have to give here. So some new ID like this you want to update. Just check it first.
Double quotation.
I'm sorry, I just missed one thing. This new one should be in the between. So update employee ID, set keyword you have to use. Set keyword, and this should be table name. After update keyword, you should have table name. Then you have to use set keyword, and here in this set keyword you have to give new data. Let's say this is the ID I want to update, where employee name equals to Sam and date of joining is this. This is the
Okay,
update
and
statement.
after set it is not under double quotation.
It may be single quotation, I think.
I just want to check.
Yeah, no problem if it is a single quotation also
Okay.
in set notation.
Okay.
Double quotation or single notation, but anyways you should use anything to differentiate your keyword and your data.
Okay.
This is about updating state. And there are some null values in SQL, and there are some what some joins we have. So regarding joins, of course in joins we may not get mostly interesting, but I'll explain what the joins are. There are four types of joins. One is inner join. Inner join means it will combine rows of two or more tables. Okay, and it will and give you all rows of tables, both tables, and it will give you new table. All rows of tables combinedly and give you new table. This is inner join. And the left outer join. Left outer join means it will give you left side column all rows and right side columns only conditional rows. You got what it is? Let's say in employee table, if you apply the left outer join, then you will get only the first two or three columns, but all rows you will get. But in the right hand side, whatever the condition you mentioned, those rows only you will get. That means the remaining all rows will be empty. That table you will get. Okay. Same like this, you have right outer join. So it will give you the right side columns, all rows, and this left side columns, conditional rows. And full join. Full outer join means you will get rows based on condition. That's it. Only based on condition which satisfies those rows only you will get, but with complete information. Every row, not only single column. Every row you will get. So this is about joins. If I miss any concept in SQL, please refer it. Okay. In W3 schools, there is a clear explanation for every query, and a lot more queries there for practical purpose also. There are a lot more queries. So these are the ones which we face every time
Mhm.
in a general testing perspective. Even in automation testing also. Of course, in automation, there is some coding related to database, but as per manual, you just need these queries.
Okay. I'll go ahead and go through it and learn it a bit, and if I have any questions, I'll come back to you.
Sure. If you didn't understand any concept in the website or any other concept in SQL, you can ask me. What we left with this tool. So just complete that Excel sheet and complete defect report and complete the total summary in the last 4 page, and refer SQL whenever you have time, and
Mm-hmm.
any two of these tools download and see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what your duty. Then we are done with the manual testing.
Okay.
So if I left any concepts, I'll cover when we start the selling.
Okay.
Okay. Mostly I just completed all, but only one, two I missed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll complete that when we complete the Java. After completing Java, when we start Selenium testing, then we will come to the topics.
Okay.
So this is about database testing. Manually related database testing, we are done. But when you come to Selenium, there is another concept of database testing which is related to coding. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
that we will anyways after all Selenium we can go through that. This is about, so you remember that what you do. So if you complete that and if you are perfect that, then I'll continue Selenium Java from tomorrow. Once core Java completed, then we can move on to Selenium.
So,
Do you have any idea regarding core Java?
yeah, I just went and had a look at it, but still I'm not that great in comprehending.
Okay.
But when you teach me,
Completing this sheet, including
mm-hmm.
this, just had a look on core Java.
Mm-hmm.
The next what we are starting is that only. So we have to complete that. Then only you will understand Selenium.
Okay.
So core Java is mandated to complete the Selenium testing. So please have a look on core Java and complete those sheets
Mm-hmm.
and complete any tool practice. Then we are done.
Okay.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
you're coming tomorrow, right?
Not tomorrow, on Monday.
You're not available tomorrow.
No, tomorrow I work in the morning.
If you're available, let me know. Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow is not possible. Monday, 8:30 is possible. Like your 7.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. From Monday itself, we will do. So meanwhile, in these 2 days, if you have any
Yeah.
free time, then
Mm-hmm.
complete all this what we discussed.
Sure.
Okay, then bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'll forward the sheets within a half an hour.